Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant and welcome back for more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time, we took a look at the Battle Frontier. And today, we're going to be looking at all the stuff you can do having already gone through the final battle. Again, you didn't miss any videos. I have not yet posted the finale, but I wanted to show off all of the stuff you can do after beating the final battle before showing off the final battle, because I wanted that to be the very last video in the LP. Hope that's not too confusing. But the first thing I wanted to show off is the fact that you can get commemorative photos with gym leaders after you get their phone numbers. At least most of them work that way. And the one that I wanted to show off, you don't have access to until you clear the final battle. And he is over here on Cinnabar Island on Fridays. And of course, I'm getting a picture of him with Duster because he remembers how the rematch went! But in addition to that, a couple of the gym leaders will offer you trades and such. I'll have information for that in the video description. The next thing I wanted to show off is that you can get starters from other regions as well. The first of which we can get in... Do I want to go to Saffron City first? I think I'll stop off by Pallet Town first. It just makes more sense to. I was thinking of saving Pallet Town for second, because there is something else we get here in addition to the starter. But after clearing the final battle, you can go back to Professor Oak, and he'll give us one of the 3 Kanto starters from the first generation of games. So similar to how we picked Totodile in the very beginning of the game, we can take one of the 3 Kanto starters here as well after beating the game here. We could take the Fire starter Charmander, the Water starter Squirtle, or the Grass Poison starter Bulbasaur. And I'm going to pick the one that I actually haven't used before. Squirtle! Don't have a nickname for it, but I'm sure I'll think of one eventually. Nope, already cleared the game, but it's nice that you have that burned into your memory. How many of these starters do you have, anyway? And I believe you're not going to give us the thing. Do I have to exit and re-enter the place for you to realize that you can give me the thing? Do you want to give me the thing? You were supposed to give me a thing, right? I'll figure that out off screen. The next place we can get a starter from is over in Saffron City, in the Silphco building. From a character who's already shown that he has absolutely no interest in us whatsoever, but he will be kind enough to give us something. And is that Cameron here? I think I'll skip on the picture since half of our party isn't here. It doesn't seem fair. We head over here to the reception desk. We'll find Steven Stone again. And this is how he asks us which starter we want. The green stone will give you Trico, the grass starter from the Hoenn games. The red stone will give you Torchic, the fire starter from the Hoenn games. And the blue stone will give you Mudkip. Since I've never picked Trico before, I'll pick the green stone. And I don't have a nickname planned for this little guy either. But of course, with both of these, you only have one option, so choose your pick wisely. And let's get a peek at these two. Squirtle, Nose Tackle, and Tail Whip, and hearing that cry again just brings back so much nostalgia. And Trico, Nose Pound, and Leer. And both of them are a neutral nature. So those are the starters. I also want to show off a pair of legendaries that we can catch now. And on our way there, I want to show off something that I haven't actually shown off at all in this project, and that's riding the magnet train. You may remember at some point in the middle of our Kanto run that we restored power to the power plant. And we also got a pass for the magnet train from the copycat girl. This is what it's used for. We can use the magnet train to go from Saffron City to Goldenrod, and back at any time we want. And in the Game Boy Color games, this was the quickest way for you to get to one region from the other. In Heart Gold SoulSilver, I'm not sure if they allowed you to fly directly to Indigo Plateau and the reception gate from either region in the Game Boy games, but they do here, which is what I've been doing all along. And this is my favorite track from the Game Boy games. Another thing I just could not pass up showing off before the end. It's just so cheery and happy for such a lively, thriving city, the biggest city in any Pokemon games in the second generation. Although I guess you could argue that Saffron City was larger. There's certainly more to do here than in Saffron City, but I just love this theme so much. It brings back so many good memories. But the reason why I was confused that Professor Oak didn't give us the thing that we were looking for was because we needed to get the starter from him before we could get the item. And the item happens to be in the possession of one Mr. Pokemon, who we haven't seen in ages. If you remember, he was the guy we had to deliver the mystery egg to, and wound up giving us one to hatch into a Togepi. And I forget which way is easiest to go, but since we have Leaky, we can just cut down the trees to get there. So if we head over to Mr. Pokemon's house, he should have something for us that'll grant us access to those legendaries. Or at least one. And if you're playing SoulSilver, you'll receive from him the red orb from the Hoenn region. If you're playing Heart Gold, you'll receive the blue orb. And if you remember, on the route to the west of Cianwood City that led to the Safari Zone, there was a particular area where I said we could use Waterfall to get to later. Now that we have the red orb, we can make full use of that area. So we'll fly all the way over to Cianwood City. I think it's easier to get there from Cianwood than from the Safari Zone. And naturally, I'm going to have to get Crunch back into our party so we can use Waterfall. So with Crunch back, we can make our way over to the Embedded Tower. Chuck, what are you doing here? You never leave the gym. How could you actually... Oh, you're here to tell me about the Embedded Tower, huh? Piercing the sky, you say? Mythical Pokemon that stretched the seas and widened the lands. Sound like Kyogre and Groudon to me. It's a shame that the tower isn't actually there anymore. Rock climb and surf? There's no way we'll be able to get there. Well, we're certainly going to try, and I believe we need to put up a rappel to get through here. I don't want to have to deal with any unwanted encounters in here. So, up we go! And if you remember, we're going to have to surf all the way over there. So it won't be too long of a trip, and I don't think it's up that waterfall. Although I am curious to see what's up there, I don't think it's... I thought I'd get off the bicycle by going into the cave. You can go down a ladder with a bicycle, maybe not. But I believe it's all the way over to the west side here. And if memory serves, there was one or more hidden items over there that I swore I would come back to get the last time I was here, and since I'm a man of my word, I'm actually going to pick it up. As silly as that sounds. But we need Rock Climb to get here. We also had to have defeated the final battle, but, oh yeah, there is an item down there. Maybe I'll go pick it up. I mean, if it's just a Stardust, it's probably not going to be worth it, but knowing my luck, it's probably a TM or something that I'll feel bad for not actually going after because I didn't look up to see what kind of items are over here, because the only thing anybody's interested in at this point is the legendary. That was a mouthful. The Wave Incense! I also forget what you're used for. I want to say you're used for Azurill, but don't quote me on that. Please don't quote me on that. Somebody did. Why did you do that? Don't quote me, I said! Huge tower reaching far into the sky. I guess that's why they call it the Embedded Tower. Deep down underground as well. Bottom of the ocean. Sky, land, and sea. Okay, if you don't know who these are, despite the fact that I've already spoiled it, you've clearly never played the 3rd generation games, which, considering what I've said in this LP, I can't really get on you for. And I proceed to get flamed again. But having picked up the red orb in SoulSilver, we have access to the legendary ground type, box art legendary from the 3rd generation games, Groudon. I do like their battle theme, but admittedly, it gets old fast. And once again, if you were playing Heart Gold, you'd have the opportunity to capture Kyogre here instead of Groudon. Yeah, he'll probably tell us something about needing Kyogre from Heart Gold, which, thankfully, I've already taken care of. But before then, let's get a look at Groudon's Pokédex entry, which is somewhere, there he is, number 383, said to have expanded the lands by evaporating water with raging heat and intensely battled titanically. Never heard titanically used that way. With Kyogre, which is number 382. And thankfully, I've already gotten one. What does that mean for us? Well, I'll let you know when we speak with Professor Oak back in Pallet Town. And back in Pallet Town, you're going to want to bring with you the Groudon that we just caught, and a Kyogre from Heart Gold. It can't be from any other game, it has to be from Heart Gold. And the one I'm bringing in here is one that I legitimately caught in the Heart Gold hack that I played a couple of years ago. And this one I remember in particular for catching on the very first ball that I attempted, which is the one that caused all of the hiccups with the Pokédex, because this is the one from the hack that I played where I caught 75% of all Pokemon in the Sinnoh-Dex. I have upwards of 350 or 60 from that save file alone, and they were all transferred along with the Kyogre. But regardless, it should still qualify as being from a Heart Gold cartridge, so I figure why the hell not. We have Groudon and Kyogre. We talk to Professor Oak again. He'll give us another orb. The Jade Orb. And this will give us access to the third box art legendary from the Hoenn games, if we return to the Embedded Tower. Rayquaza, the Dragon Flying type. So I'll meet you guys back at the Embedded Tower, and we'll see if the Jade Orb activates anything. And with the Jade Orb in hand, when we return to the Embedded Tower, look who's waiting. Now, since this is the very last thing I'll be recording for SoulSilver, having already recorded the finale that I have yet to post, there's no reason not to use this thing. And that'll capture us the legendary from the Hoenn games that quelled the rivalry between Groudon and Kyogre. And the Pokédex entry for this thing should tell us the same thing I just told you. It flies in the ozone layer way up high in the sky. Until recently, no one had ever seen it. And that's going to do it for all of the secrets and stuff that you can get after clearing the final battle. Next time, in the finale, we'll see exactly what final battle I've been talking about this whole time. Until then, this is UniversalGiant, and I'll see you next time. Hi Erwin, how you doing? You do? I wonder why that is. I appreciate it, but kinda already did that in the future. Recording the finale before this and posting the finale after this is confusing me more than it's confusing anyone else. I'm sorry, Erwin. Please get off my case.